Hey, airlines offering super low rates like $29 flights, but sometimes those advertised deals can be tough to find when you actually need them.
Yeah, so where can you now look for the legitimate bargains? Gabe Sagley is here, the senior editor of Travelzoo.com. He knows how to get those deals. All right, Gabe, so let's start with JetBlue, because right now, could this be true? $29 flights between Fort Lauderdale and the Bahamas?
Yeah, that's an international fare, believe it or not. $29 on JetBlue, Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, and we're actually seeing those one-way domestic and even a couple of these international fares down to $29, $39. That same JetBlue sale, which ends tonight, by the way, will take you from San Jose and Long Beach in Southern California for just about $49. NYC to Nantucket, $74. So that sale ends tonight. The trick with a lot of these sales is check out the book by date. Oftentimes they're only 24, 48 hours long, so the sooner you jump on these sales, the better the odds you'll actually get those advertised fares.
And their goal, of course, is not to get you for $29, but to say, oh, you know, it's unfortunate. Unfortunately, we're sold out on them. We like to charge you $4,000 instead, and hopefully they have you over a battle. United, let's talk about last-minute domestic sales. Right now, we saw our staff $44 between Denver and Salt Lake City, $54 between Vegas and San Francisco, and between New York City and D.C. Now, tell me about these. You got to travel by July 14th, so that's next week.
Well, that's the thing. This is an example of these very last-minute sales. This sale was released a couple of days ago. It's specifically for travel this weekend, so today or tomorrow, and you've got to return by Monday or Tuesday of next week. So very short-lived, very immediate type of sale, but they're becoming increasingly more popular, and it really tells just what the consumer habit is. These days, consumers are waiting longer and longer and waiting for that very aggressive best-price deal to actually jump on booking these flights. We're not seeing these long-term bookings as much anymore. More of these immediate, last-minute impulse kinds of bookings, and so these very short-lived sales and very sort of short lead-time sales are more popular and more prevalent these days.
I know. I got so dissed when I thought I was planning in advance, and now I'm looking at some of these sales going, oh, that was really stupid. But let's talk about going to Hawaii, because you're really smart if you take advantage of these deals. Are you talking about $243 to get to Maui?
Yeah, this is on American Airlines. Keep in mind that hotel occupancy rates have dropped pretty dramatically throughout the islands in Hawaii, and that has led to hotel prices dropping dramatically, and of course the airlines have followed suit. So American will fly you for $243 between Dallas and Maui, $268 LAX to Kona, $333 between Boston and Kauai. So even from the East Coast, these one-way fares are as low as we've ever seen them. And Gretchen, you mentioned paying one price and then finding a lower price on a sale later. A lot of these airlines will, in fact, give you back the difference on that ticket. Some, like United, won't charge you any money for it, but you have to just be on top of what you paid and how these fares drop over time to be able to cash in on some of these refunds.
And that explains why sometimes they're not there. The restrictions are there. They're in fine print. You need a magnifying glass or the Hubble telescope to see them.
Well, the trick, Brian, is also being able to know when to actually look for these sales. I mean, yes, you're seeing the best possible one-way fare advertised, but the best odds are Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays when you'll find some of those fares most available. And early morning flights will be a little bit more expensive, so look for mid to late morning flights, early afternoon flights. You've got to be able to play around with your dates, the time of day you're willing to fly. The more flexible you are, the better odds you'll actually lock in those advertised one-way fares.
Right. I'm not sure if I was still focused on the Hubble telescope, but you probably did say Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday are the best days to book. All right. Gabe, thanks so much for the insider information. Hopefully lots of folks will go out and have a good trip.
And check you out at Travelzoo.com. Meanwhile, straight ahead, a story you got to hear. A swim club takes back memberships from a bunch of camps.